Hey guys, Reece Schaefer with Century 21 Legacy Realty, and today we're covering agency representation. Who do real estate agents represent? Well, the Arkansas Real Estate Commission gives out these awesome little pamphlets that talk about who real estate agents represent in a real estate transaction. I think first we have to define exactly what a real estate agent is. A real estate agent is a licensed professional that puts buyers and sellers together in a real estate transaction and works as their representatives in negotiation. Now that we understand who a real estate agent is, we now need to discuss who they can represent. So a real estate agent can either represent a buyer, a seller, or in some cases can represent both the buyer and the seller. So let's break this down even further so we know what it means to be represented in each of these situations. For the seller to be represented by an agent, that agent and that seller need to enter into a listing agreement for the sole purpose of selling the property and having that agent protect and promote the interests of that seller. So on the other side, for the buyer to be represented by an agent, that buyer and agent would enter into a buyer's agency agreement, in which case that agent now works for that buyer to promote and protect their best interests as well. Now that we've covered what it means for an agent to represent a buyer and to represent a seller, what happens when an agent represents both the buyer and a seller in the same transaction? Well, that agent becomes a dual agent or dual agency. Dual agency is defined as when an agent or agents in the same real estate firm work with both the buyer and seller on the same real estate transaction. It is important to realize that both parties have to be aware of this dual agency and have to give prior written consent before this type of agency can occur. This also limits the duty of an agent due to the fact the agent can't disclose confidential information from one party to the other, thus putting one party at a disadvantage and the other at an advantage. I think it's also fair to cover what it means not to be represented in a real estate transaction. So if you were a buyer talking to a listing agent or you were a seller talking to a buyer's agent, you really don't have anyone protecting your best interests, and it could put you at a disadvantage when it comes to the negotiations, because any information you disclose, that agent could use to the benefit of their client, and you may not even know you're doing it. On a side note, in this pamphlet, it does let you know that Regulation 8.1 and 8.2 do require you to disclose to the other party who you work for in a transaction. Hopefully this clears up any confusion you have. If you have any questions, please comment below. Please give me a like and let me know what you think. Until next time.